Step 1. Define your question clearly. A real experiment starts with a simple, testable question, not 5. Instead of, what's the biggest problem I have with my natural hair right now? No, ask something specific like, does my hair stay moisturized for longer when I use this cream before a gel or when I use this cream and then that gel? Do my braid outs last longer if I dry them overnight versus under the dryer? This stops you chasing opinions, especially product ones, and makes the question something that you can actually do, something your real life can answer. Step 2, set your variables. You have one thing that you can change and everything else you keep constant. That is your control. So if you're testing 2 leave-ins, keep your wash day the same way. Your drying, your styling, your detangling, everything the exact same way. The more you change, the less you learn. So think of it like baking. If you're testing different sugar levels in your cake, you don't also change the oven temperature and the kind of flour that you're using. No, here is no different. Step 3, choose your testing window. For most people, 2 to 4 weeks is ideal. This gives you enough time to see patterns without dragging the whole experiment out. Don't test on one wash day and call it your result. No, your scalp, the weather, your humidity levels, hormones, even stress can make things different week to week. 2 to 4 week period smooths that out. Step 4, collect your baseline. Before you even start, notice where things are at with your current routine. How long does your hair stay moisturized for before it starts to feel dry? How long does the style hold up? Write notes down in your phone, because without your baseline, your better or worse later means absolutely nothing. We want to know where we are today. Step 5, test one thing at a time. That's where most people get things wrong. They overhaul the whole thing, everything all at once, and then they can't tell what really made the difference. So if you're testing a new shampoo, don't also add a new leave-in, a new gel into the mix. Isolate the variable. Step 6, create a consistent environment. Try to wash your hair at roughly the same time on wash day. Use the same drying method if you can, and note the weather if you can. Humidity can completely change your results, so a quick note like humid day or rainy day can explain a lot later down the line. Number 7, track with purpose, not perfection. This doesn't need to be a spreadsheet. Just a notes app on your phone will do the job, or your journal. Just write it down. The date or the month, at least if you can, what you tested, what your constant was, how your hair felt 24 hours later, 3 days, 7 days later. If you want to go deeper, track how your scalp feels, your frizz levels, and how long a style lasted before you needed to refresh it. Look, you're not writing a lab report here, but you're writing something for your reference, something you can understand. So keep it simple but right. Step 8, take photos. We want as much visual evidence as possible. Take one photo right after styling, one photo midweek, and one at the end of the style's life. Use the same lighting each time if possible. It may sound silly at first, but your eyes lie. Our eyes do. What you call no growth might just be poor lighting, right? And what you call dull hair or see-through hair might just be overexposure. Visual tracking gives you the truth when your mood fluctuates, and our moods do fluctuate. Step 9, analyze your results without bias. Don't ask, did this product work? Ask, what changed? Maybe your twist out lasted a little longer, but your hair felt a little drier. Maybe the curls looked shinier, but your scalp got oilier faster. List what improved and what worsened. The goal is clarity, not perfection. Step 10, make a decision and close the loop. After your test period, you either keep the thing, you tweak it, or you toss it. If you keep it, it joins your core system if it's a product. If you tweak a technique, then define exactly what you're tweaking so that next round you know where to begin from. If it's a product and you toss it, don't call it a fail. That's tuition. You just paid for clarity. The product has not gone to waste. When you stop calling things holy grail and start calling them maybe phase results, you stop feeling guilty for something everyone loved that didn't work for you. Step 11, apply the method beyond products. You can use the same process for your styles, for your drying methods, for your wash day frequency. If you want to know if you should stretch your wash day from 7 days to 10 days or the other way around, run an experiment. If you want to test if your twist on damp hair gives you better definition, run an experiment, right? If you want to see if switching from A microfiber towel to a t-shirt is better for your hair and reduces frizz. The same system. Each test adds to your personal database. Step 12, learn how to read patterns. Once you've done a few experiments, patterns emerge. Maybe your hair always behaves better when you use lighter leave-ins in humid months, or maybe you discover that your hair prefers protein every 3 months or every 3 weeks instead of weekly. These patterns are gold because they remove decision fatigue. You can plan ahead instead of reacting every wash day. Step 13, batch your tests. If you have a whole lineup of new products, don't test them all at once. Group them into categories like cleansers and conditioners and stylers, and then test one category per month. Very simple. That's 4 focused experiments in a season instead of one big blur. Step 14, build in your rest weeks. Your hair and your scalp also need a control week where we're using things we've trusted. We're doing the basics. You reset your senses and you make sure that the next results are not biased by leftover effects. Step 15, name your findings. When something works for you, name the system, not just the product. For example, moisture lock routine, humidity wash day, or quick refresh routine. This gives your routine identity. You're not just chasing products and brands, you are building a system. Step 16. Store your learnings visibly. Create a hair folder in your Notes app with headings like Cleansers I Trust, Stylers that Never Flake, Wash Day Setups that Work, the best wash and go combos for a humid week. This becomes your personal user manual. You never have to ask these questions again. You can pull these out without guessing what you did last month. You can restock easily without buying and trialing new products forever. Step 17. Use failures as feedback. If something flops, ask why. Was it the weather? Did you use too much or too little? Did you change too many variables at once? Here it teaches us through patterns, not punishment. There's no failure here. Every failed twist out is a data point. It's not a disaster. Step 18. Cross-reference with life events. Your diet, stress levels, your sleep, all of these affect our hair more than we think. If everything stops working, check your routines, your hydration, even your medication. There may be changes coming from other parts of our lives. So before we blame the product, check our routines in our life. There may be other changes coming from other aspects of our lives. Step 19. Close each cycle with a reflection. After 3 or 4 experiments, ask this question: what did I learn about my hair? Not just the products. That's where trust starts. We're not experimenting forever. So always finish up with a question. You start with a question, you finish up with a question. Step 20. Protect your peace. Because the purpose of running an experiment isn't to make you obsessive. No, it's to make you efficient so you enjoy wash day without it being a chaotic surprise every week. You're building a feedback loop that helps you respond to your hair and not react to hype. Think of it as project management for your hair. Minimal confusion, clear goals, visible progress, and enjoyment at the end of the day. Step 21. Know when to stop testing. Once you've found a system that works, lock it in and let it run on autopilot. You deserve rest. You don't need to optimize for forever.